We're live and gone. Oh my gosh, dude. Can you believe it? 1 year. This is our
1
year
year.
episode. And what's crazy is it's only episode 42 because we traveled so much during the year. So, one, we have gotten way better at that being live, me on site, you on site, going through all this stuff. So, we're going to get down to that next year. I'm telling you, I think we can do 50 of these. I think we can. So, guys, here's the deal. Tonight, episode 42 of the Dragon Drive Show presented by Summit Racing. Going to be a good one. We got a PRI recap. We got the award show, the booth craziness. Dude, how crazy was the booth? Favorite cars of that. We've got Hot Rod Drag Week track speculation. I think this is going to be kind of fun. We're going to save that to the end of the show because it's going to be some rambling. And then the crew chief turned 16 yesterday. I'm so
Yep.
excited for him. And we talk about new events and new dates that were released for events that were already on the schedule. Dude, hit the intro video and let's get this thing started. Guys, I'm here with Dave Teresi, Mr. Energy.
Oh, yeah, I'm psyched to be here. Thanks for having me. And I'm
Oh, we're looking this for a 6 something. That's
Excited you're here. It's going to be a ton of fun. Great weather.
What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for having me.
I'm really excited about this right here. Guys, welcome back. I want to say thank you for being here. We had the craziest week last week. It was absolutely insane. My name's Mike Narks. I am your host for tonight for the Dragon Drive show and the news that happens on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. I'm a Dragon Drive statistician. I'm going to own it. I also hosted a Dragon Drive Awards last week. I don't know if you heard that, but I did a little bit of that. And then a promoter and announcer. Man, we're going to do some announcing this year and have some upcoming stuff for that as well. Eric, introduce yourself. Tell them what all you got going on, and let's get to this thing.
I am Eric White, and I am here to say the PRI flu is real. I got hit with that. I help everything with Dragon Drive Addiction, artwork, promoting. My mind is just blank tonight. I'm
Yeah.
rough. I'm in rough shape. When I'm not helping with Dragon Drive Addiction, I am running my channel, which is 815 LSX Swaps.
That's right, dude. Well, listen, it couldn't have been because of all the hands we shook at PRI and the 12 hours total of sleep we got from Tuesday morning till I don't know Saturday night till you got Saturday night till you get home.
Yeah, I doubt that
Pretty
had
intense,
anything to
man.
do with it.
There was 2.5 hours there where we slept on Friday night that we needed a little more than that. All right, let's jump into this, guys. We can't do this without you. I want to say thank you to our race car friends that are out there in the world right now. I see a bunch of folks making comments over there. Again, Eric runs this for us. He makes sure that your comments come up here. You see the Facebook user there, back one comment. That means those folks are in our Dragon Drive Addicts Facebook group, which is more than 14,000 members strong. Can't say thank you enough over there. Tons of technical stuff goes on in that group. But if you'll scroll down to the bottom of the description of the video and click on the StreamYard link, it will allow your name to be brought up like Ryan Hargit's is right here. Guys, we can't do this without our sponsors too. And I'm telling you, wait till next week. We got more stuff to announce on this front. Kind of exciting. Yes, Summit Racing, Molly Motorsports, Howard's Cam, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk have been with us all year. Cannot thank them enough. It's been amazing. I've been talking to all of them. We got a lot of fun stuff planned for 2024. I'm not going to release stuff, but I'm telling you, we're going to have a blast. That is for sure. All right. Let's get into it. I want to say first off, we got our chance to hang out with the crew chief Blaine. I talked about it in the intro. Guys, Blaine Stark came by the booth, got a little bit of interview time with him. I cut down that and added some pictures over it to so you guys could see what was going on, and posted that up on YouTube yesterday. So that's kind of my plan. I'm going to take a lot of these interviews that we did, which I think was about 20, it feels like, and then I'm going to take them. I'm gonna edit them down and put them on YouTube as a standalone video as well. Man, that was a lot of fun. Happy birthday to Blaine, guys! If you'll do it for me, let's all wish Blaine a happy birthday in the chat on the side, and then we're gonna take and screenshot those and send all them to him as well. So excited for him. He is 16, dude. 16 years old. He's going to be driving a big car now. That was one of the things he said during the interview, was that he was really excited to be in a big car. All right, moving on. Flying H drag strip. This is the only time I know of this right here. Flying H has a hub dyno. They just ordered it, and they're starting to take appointments on January 15th. Dude, how cool. You could go to the drag strip. You could put your car on a hub dyno. I mean, like, you could literally dyno it and then take it out and make a pass. How cool is that, man? That's so cool. I'm excited for Flying H to open up. I will say Flying H is in our radar for the circuit one year. It was just not going to be in our radar for 2024 because we would have followed the weekend of their grand opening. And you know how that goes in this part of the country. It's no question that it could possibly rain out their grand opening. And then we would be pushed back. And, guys, we can't have that happen. Can't have that happen. So we're going to let them get rolling. But I will be at Flying H Drag Strip a couple different times with the Midwest Drag Race Series this year, doing some announcing and helping your buddy Danny Diesel. And then I've been on this tangent lately of also going on other people's podcasts to preach about drag and drive and how great it is. So the guys at Gearhead Perspective live about an hour and 20 minutes from me, or record about an hour and 20 minutes from me. And so I'm going to run over there on Sunday and hang out with them for, me, 2 hours. I can talk for 2 hours straight, I think, if nobody stops me. And so I'm going to record with them, and they record at the Hot Rod Central Speed Shop, which is kind of cool. So should be a lot of video that comes along from that. I'm going to see if they'll let me do a little bit of live streaming while we're in there, and maybe I can record a little bit. But I know we won't do the whole thing because I want you guys to go over and find the Gearhead Perspective podcast on Facebook right now and on your podcast app, and go subscribe to that and follow it, because they are really cool. I mean, they're like us. They just don't dive as deep into drag and drive as what we do. So I'm excited to do that and have that opportunity. All right. Speaking of podcasts, finally the week, dude. It's finally the week that it's going to happen. The Hot Rod Magazine podcast drops. The Hot Rod Pod will be out on Friday, December 15th. And guys, they've been recording since back, I think they recorded the first episode at SEMA. So they should have a good backlog of episodes that, I'm sure they're going to have some kind of like a weekly or bi-weekly drop plan, as they come out with all this stuff. So it's going to be kind of fun to see. I mean, obviously you're going to have Brian Loans, David Freiberger as hosts. I think KJ Jones, I saw a picture of him jump in there for a little bit as a guest host. They did a lot of interviews at SEMA. They did a lot of interviews, I'm pretty sure, at PRI, and they're going to use a lot of the stuff from those two, obviously, to make full-blown episodes. So
that'll be cool.
Oh, dude, I'm so ready. I'm ready to have another high-level automotive podcast to listen to. With as much as I plan to drive, I mean, our event list for 2024 is 18, 19 strong. So that means a lot of time on the road, a lot of time staring out the windshield, which means I got to have something to listen to. You can't listen to the same 40 songs all the time. So try and listen to a little bit of stories and obviously bring you guys some stuff. All right, let's see. What do we got next here, dude? Because that's a bunch of news right out of the gate. Oh, yeah, the event we did last week.
Yeah.
That one where you get the flu, PRI.
Yeah. And I was looking online, and there's a lot of people that got hit with this PRI bug, and apparently it's a thing every year. This is just my first year of actually catching it.
Well, I will say this is the first year that we've worked as hard as we've worked.
Yeah.
There was no stop there. And that's why, like, for the folks at home, we talked, we're going to post 40 videos, all this kind of stuff. We didn't have time.
No.
Like to post an Instagram reel literally takes 4 minutes, probably 5 minutes total, if you have an idea of what you're going to do. So let's call it 10. We didn't have 10 minutes, dude. There wasn't a time where I was like, oh, I'll just sit right here in this chair and do this. How many minutes did you sit down during, like, on Friday?
Sitting at our booth anywhere throughout the day of PRI, I would say, I mean, it'd be lucky if I hit 20 minutes, and
Maybe.
that's like a minute or two here and there,
Yeah.
just to stretch my back or get a
Yeah.
couple minutes off my feet.
Yeah. It was pretty intense.
Actually, the most sitting we did probably was when we recorded the podcast.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Aaron
Easily.
Roberts here says you guys were hooked up every time I seen you. We were, man. It was absolutely crazy. We were running around like maniacs. It was pretty crazy. I want to thank the guys that came because not only did they absolutely save our butts, like big time save our butts, but those guys paid for all this themselves. Like, I want you to understand, I didn't pay for them to come because I couldn't. Like, we spent a lot of money going to PRI, a lot of money going to PRI. And it turned out, I think it's going to be great. It's going to work. We're obviously going back next year because we're doing the awards again. We're doing all that stuff again. But guys, Adam Green, thank you so much. He was a trooper on Thursday and Friday, manning the booth for hours and hours and hours at a time. I want to say thank you to him. I want to say thanks to Red Hat Scotty. Flew in on Friday, right? Friday?
Thursday
No,
night.
Thursday night. Like, yeah, because we were racing go-karts. Thursday night, flew back out on Saturday. I hate that I didn't get to see him before he was gone, but dude, we were again running around. Stephen Narks, my brother, my boy, drove us up there, wouldn't let me pay for any fuel. Class act. I want to say I appreciate that. We used his car, drove up there. I mean, it was all he worked the booth hours and hours. Travis Wise. Not only did he make the trophies at Revved Up Laser Works for the award ceremony, he also set them up with Steven. They were in charge of all of that. Eric kind of gave some direction on that, and then Eric and I went to work on getting the PA and the camera and everything like that set up in the room ready for a bunch of folks. So I can't thank those guys enough.
And then he ran the live stream while we were doing the awards.
Yeah, it's great. I haven't even gone back and watched that yet.
Me neither.
I hope it's okay. I hope it's okay. Aaron Roberts here says the wife is mad at him for not taking any selfies. Dude, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to go back through and count the number of people in the selfies. It's got to be 600 though. It's got to be 500 or 600 people that I literally talked to face in the booth. It was crazy. So we've got an album on Facebook that is People of PRI 2023, and it's a lot of it are the selfies that I took. I'm adding to it for the pictures that Eric took that are relevant to that stuff because Eric took hundreds of pictures as well. Steven sent me a bunch. So there's a lot of that in there. So this is just a snippet of the people that came by. I mean, like, it was crazy. I think the PRI 2023 decal was a hit. I mean, it really got people in early. And I'll clarify this. Next year, we're going to do that again, obviously. Next year, we're going to print. I was going to say we're going to print more of them, but we're not. We're going to keep it at 100 a day because that was cool. But we're going to, I don't know, we got to have some kind of code word or something because there was one point where we were kind of handing them out and I was like, man, I think I want people to have to ask for these. So,
well, we didn't leave
awesome.
them out on the table because we knew
That
they
was a
would
good
get
thing.
swiped.
Yep.
We left the big Dragon Drive ones out for people to take.
Yep.
Which
And they took all of them.
Yeah.
They're gone. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
1,000 of those are gone.
We'll need to do something like that can be on the table that people can take, but our special PRI ones, that was pretty cool. And for me, the fact that I designed that and people were coming over to grab one before they were gone was really awesome.
Yes, and I want to give one more shout out. I forgot this in my notes here. These guys right here, not only did they work the booth, they were also out working the show floor for us too. So they would come back with so many business cards, and I've been going through those all week, emailing those people, hey, I want to say thanks, blah blah blah, all the stuff from there, and I can't thank those guys enough for doing that. So that's pretty cool. Thank you to all you guys to take care of that. Let's see. Yeah, so I guarantee you there had to be 600 or 700 people come through the booth at any given moment. We had people piled into the aisle.
Yeah,
So,
our neighbors did not like us, I'm sure.
Yeah. But I had a really good conversation with Danny Diesel today or yesterday, and he said he was talking to the Wagler performance guys that were just kind of catty corner to us, and he said that guy complimented. Like he said, Danny, tell those guys that they did a great job. He's like, every time we looked over there, they were interviewing somebody. They had somebody, they had a gang of people hanging out over there. and all that kind of stuff. So it was just really crazy. I want to say thanks to people that came by and jumped on the live stream with us. We are going to change it up a little bit next year. We're going to try and book all of our interviews first thing in the mornings and just stack them. That way we can run around all day. I thought moving them throughout the day would allow us to be at the booth more, but it really cost us a ton of time. So we're going to do those early in the morning. But the folks that did come by for an interview were Blaine Stark, like we said a few minutes ago, Cody and Emily Medicis, Brittany Friesen, Rich Guido. Hang on, I may have these photos in here. Yeah, there we go. Rich Guido, Jason, and John from Get Out and Drive podcast. Luke from Howard's Cams was at our place and we were at his. Redwood Rally, we did two. We did one from their booth and one from ours. Tommy from Summit Racing, we were in his booth for a while. And then Austin from Big Sky Race Week came by. Who am I missing in there? I got Rich Guido. Yeah, I think that was the interviews we did. And again, those are coming out very, very soon. Hey, Woody Iddings in here, dude. Got to hang out with him. Power Tube TV.
Yep.
We got some fun stuff coming on that deal. I can't wait for you guys to see what we're working on for all of that as well. So it was a great trip, even though I feel like we didn't get enough accomplished.
Well, yeah. At one point, I said I felt like we did a lot, but we didn't accomplish a lot. But then that was the day that I looked out, and our booth was full, front to back, touching the booth behind us, and like half a booth out each way. And I'm like, you know what? We didn't have a lot of expectations on what we thought was going to happen at the show, but if we did have anything, we would have exceeded it, because I would have never expected that many people to come over, say hi, hang out. And you mentioned like going off. Every time we left the booth to go somewhere else, we would run into somebody. We'd stop and talk along the way. So it was freaking awesome.
It really was, and that's probably why you have a little bit of under the weatherness. Because like I'm telling y'all, we didn't stop, we didn't eat. We had a burger on Thursday and Friday. I had half a banana on Saturday. That was it.
Yeah, Saturday
was a 2.5 hour night.
Yeah, Saturday I had a muffin, I don't know, 9, 10 o'clock, and I didn't eat until I was an hour and a half out of Indy when I finally stopped for gas and stopped at Taco Bell and grabbed something that I could eat while I was driving.
Oh yeah, it was pretty crazy. All right, so let's talk about favorite cars. These are 6 of my favorite cars that were there. This F1 truck, oh my gosh. For the folks that are listening to this on the podcast later, you've got to go find it on YouTube or Facebook. This truck was gorgeous. The Impala wagon from 187 Customs with Donk with the huge gold wheels. Oh, gorgeous to me. And then obviously the dually caddy our root style blower in that. I mean, like just crazy. I don't even know what to call it. It's a Cadillac development. It was crazy. Alan Whitaker's Monte Carlo. Obviously, everybody knows I love that car. Everybody loves that car. I think it's probably beaten out 3 rounds of people on drag theme already.
Yeah.
The car's so cool. And then Alex Chudd's regular cab F-150 all-wheel drive Coyote truck. Saw that while we were at Back to the Streets. Oh, it looks really good, all cleaned up and not in street mode. And then this Mercure is what it, or Escort or whatever it is. I mean, it looks like a Mercure to me, but it's a RS4 Ti. This thing was perfect. I'm absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. It was gorgeous to me. Those are my 6 favorite. I got tons and tons and tons of other photos that I'm waiting on Eric to drop the album there. And then we're going to go back through and he's going to have to edit mine down here. So sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I took hundreds of pictures, probably 300 or 400 pictures just on my phone. And then you obviously had the big camera out. And that's where these photos came from.
Yep, these are just a snippet of what's going to drop after the show tonight. I'll upload the full album. I think there's 295 photos from the show and like 135 photos that are the championship belt, the award ceremony, and all those pictures. So tons and tons of pictures. And you reminded me, I haven't grabbed a couple off my phone that I need to get still too.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. Walk us through the cars that are here.
So upper left, we've got the Renegade Racing. Thomas West, I met him my first year going to PRI. He had a rear-wheel drive LS swap twin turbo Honda Civic, and he had that there the last 2 years. This year he's got this I think it's a Caprice, I can't remember, Caprice cop car That thing was freaking awesome. Got to see some videos of it leaving PRI too, which is something else we didn't talk about. If we weren't in a rush to get out of there and get home, I think that would have been cool to stick around and watch a lot of these cars leave.
Well, and that's certainly a plan for next year is to go ahead and book a room for Saturday night because we had one when we got there, but I was able to cancel it.
Hmm.
But we should have stayed because I'm telling you, as much as people partied Friday night, and we didn't get wild, but we were up till 4. Like thanks to the crew that was out there, the
Networking. We were
networking.
networking.
Yeah, man, we need to do that on Saturday night
Yeah.
as well.
Or just catch up on sleep, one or the other.
Nah, you got all week.
The second picture there on the top is the American flag C10. That thing was gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
It's got "We the People" across the back on the tailgate. You'll get to see that in those pictures I drop. The third picture up there, I don't remember what this car was. Do you remember what it is? The one in the Redwood Rally booth?
It's a Holden. That's all I know.
Okay.
So,
That thing
it is
was,
an Australian car that was shipped over here and is going to be competing in their event.
yep, it's right-hand drive. That thing was gorgeous. I loved the color on it. The backdrop behind it was pretty sweet too. Bottom left, this yellow supercar. It started with an H2, didn't it?
It's a Hennessy Venom.
Hennessy, that's right.
Yeah.
That thing was gorgeous. Got a few good photos of that. Middle car there is Camaro. That was in the Summit Racing booth. That thing just sat perfect. I loved the stance on it. Big blower on that as well.
And it
And
had a
then
license. It had a license plate on it.
It
I think
did.
that's a car that's driven on the street.
It did have a license plate on it for sure. And then the bottom right, that Corvette with the police paint scheme on it, I thought that was really slick as well.
Yeah.
Didn't get a lot of time to spend looking at these cars. We pretty much snapped pictures as we were walking by them, but those were the 6 that I was going through the photos, and those are the ones that I chose.
Right. And again, a couple hundred that are coming later today, later tonight for you
Yep.
to see the Drag and Drive Addiction page, or on Facebook. Excuse me. And then last minute invite last week, we got invited to do the Sick Car Chaos, which was way more intense than I thought. It was not. It was based on your lap time, which was good because I'm telling you, there were still people running over each other. Talked a lot of trash. I did spin out Jason Moulton. I want to say I'm sorry-ish, kind of. It was a lot of fun, but dude, for the next 2 days, my shoulders were on fire, and the cart I got, every time I would go over the top, it would like drag my knuckles. So I was also a little scared. It was fast. It was really fast. You could flat out that cart from like the hairpin on the bottom all the way through the corner by the glass up top. Dangerous, man.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
Yeah, I think your quickest time was like a 25.1.
Yeah, we don't have to tell what other people's were.
Mine was a 25.6. So
Yeah.
you were a little bit quicker than me. But
That's
yeah, needless to say, we didn't make the main event. And
No.
them boys put down 143 laps in an
Yeah.
hour with a team of 4 people.
Yeah, it was 30 something laps each, and I'll tell you, at
We did 11.
11 laps, I was done. I was winded and done. There's no way I could have gone 30 laps. There's
Yeah.
no way. And kept up the speed. You know what I mean? I could have done it, but they'd have hated me.
Yeah. Those
That is for
guys
sure.
those guys were cruising, that's for sure.
Yep. And I want to say thanks to Tom for inviting us. And that definitely, we've been looking for something to kind of lock in what we were going to do for the racer party for Saturday night of the circuit. That certainly locked it in. Man, that was a ton of fun for everybody to do that. I don't know if we'll break it up into teams or if we'll have individual wins. We're going to talk to some go-kart places about that next week, but that put it over the top. It was really a blast to do that, and it gave everybody something to watch, which was a good time. And we drank some beers and kind of had some fun and networked with all the other drag and drive racers that were there.
Right.
And then we go from that on Thursday night. We do the show all day Friday. And then we go into the Monoxide podcast, which I want to say thanks to Harris and Dan for inviting us over and really hooking us up, dude. It was really a lot of fun. Those guys or Harris runs the podcast. Dan is obviously a good friend of his and is also a car guy as well, but he's like a Fox body guy and kind of gets what we were talking about and understood a lot more than maybe what Harris did. So it was really cool to kind of bring those guys up to speed.
Yeah, but he's a Ford-powered Fox body guy. Just want to throw that out there.
And that's not ones he drives, but he does have a 21 GT500, which I thought was pretty cool. With some mods and things like that. So that was it was interesting to talk to those guys. And I think we definitely will see Dan on an event as we come through
Yep,
the season.
And he's not that far from me too. So he's just up in Wisconsin. So, but you can see in the background of that photo, that's right where we recorded the podcast, right there in the living room. So that was a ton of fun. 2 hours ish sitting there.
Yep. And it's up right now. Episode 59 is what you can look for on it.
Yep. And then we had like the world's largest slice of pizza afterwards.
Man, and I don't know. I'm blaming some of my how much I could work on Saturday because of that pizza. Like there was some serious carbs in that thing.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, and it'll be cool to see kind of them do that. And then we told them we had to cut it short, and then we stood in the kitchen and talked for an hour.
Oh yeah.
We should have just got pizza slices from the kitchen and went back and kept recording. That would have been what we should have done. But we know for next time.
Yep.
So again, want to say thank you to them. Those guys really took care of us. I mean, it was really a great experience. And then lastly here on the PRI recap, I mean, there's so much we can cover, dude. There's so much going on. I am working through the interviews. My first bit of video is to do the Bryant Goldstone, because not only did we embarrass the shit out of him by having him up on the stage and taking the pictures and all that kind of stuff with the belt and everything like that, then we drug him around the entire show floor with the belt over his shoulder, and basically, I don't know, paraded him around to all of our sponsors to grab pictures and all that kind of stuff for promotional things. And I do want to say this: we are already working on the 2024 Dragon Drive World Champion trophy. Not going to say what it is yet, but I should have it in my hands by April. So we're going to actually campaign that this whole year at events. People will be able to touch it, feel it, see it, all that kind of stuff. So that's going to be really, really cool to be able to do that. And I think with, obviously us talking about the Dragon Drive World Champion all the time and what he does and how he is going to, work to repeat his stuff, it's only going to get fiercer in 2024. And we'll talk about it in a little bit for the new rules and updates and things like that. Because it's gonna be pretty crazy. I'm excited to change up a few things, and we learned a lot this year, and now it's time to put it all into action.
Yep. All right.
Walk us into this, man.
Yep. So this week we've got 2 vehicles found on Racing Junk. Again, this is our official buy, sell, and trade for everything race car stuff, which they've got race cars, they've got trailers, they've got everything else on there as well. So here we've got a 1970 Camaro with VIN and title, 55 grand. It's a showpiece drag car, VIN title, 80 NHRA certified chassis, 496 GM, 454 block, 60 over, 4-inch stroke. So you can see a bunch of cool and nice parts on there. Good looking car too. Yep.
That's a mean looking shot right there.
Yeah, you gotta love a good split bumper for sure.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite Camaro.
Yeah, but kind of scrolling through here, looks like it's got a lot of nice stuff in it.
Yeah, turnkey, ready to go, 55 grand. I mean, you can be on sick week in that car.
Right. Nice tin work in there as well. But yeah, interior is nice and clean. Factory dash, still got carpet in there.
Street car stuff, man.
Right. So a couple more photos scrolling through here. Yeah, I like the color. I like the stance on it. So that is the first one. Our second one is a 68 Chevy 2 SS Nova with title and trailer for 30 grand. So it said Chevy 2, which this isn't a Chevy 2 though.
I think the first years of that body style, they were still called that.
Were they?
I don't know. Somebody can correct us here in the
But again, this is another.
Brandon Parker. He
I
said,
looked
"Which
for
one?
that one.
Yeah, which are you going to get? That car, that Camaro for 55 grand, or the Capone Racing Scott Brown's car?"
I was looking
Yeah,
for that
man.
one for sure.
Talk about a tough decision. Which one would you pick?
Oh, I think I'd go with Capone just because of the uniqueness of it.
Yep, I agree.
And it's proven drag and drive too. The other car is a nice car, but it's definitely not it's not a proven drag and drive car.
Right. Glenn's Hot Rod Garage here says 68 is the Chevy 2.
Okay, very cool. So this one, no trade, 68, has title, bank valued at 56K, comes with an 18-foot steel top trailer, also has a title. 427 small block, 800 horse Dart Iron Eagle engine. So for 30 grand, you can get a nice car and trailer. This car is known and has made some money in the foot brake world.
Nice.
So
It's awesome. Yeah, we got some guys here talking. Yeah. Jay Blanchard said Mike is right. I mean, that doesn't happen very often, but 68, they still call Chevy 2. Derek Putnam, same thing. You
uh,
guys jinx, you owe each other a Coke.
yeah, I learned something new. I guess I didn't realize that.
Yep. Yeah, Derek says that 68 was the last year the Chevy 2 name was used. Had Nova nameplates as well.
Very
That's
cool.
cool. And then Brandon Parker says that he would take Scott's car on a tiny tire all day. So I think we're all in agreement there. Scott's car, just gangster. And again, it's for sale, 55,000. We don't have it pulled up. Obviously, you can find it on Facebook. Just find Scott Brown. You can see the listing. I feel
Yep.
like that's a really good deal on his car.
Do
I'm
we?
wondering what he's going to build though.
I was gonna say, do we know what the deal is? Is he building another car or what's?
Yeah,
You got-
I doubt he's retiring. Well, cool. Well, that's found on Racing Junk. Obviously, we spent a lot of time at the Racing Junk booth, kind of by accident. So we had a scheduled time that we were supposed to be there and be live with John. Then got super busy, got pulled away, and would just run back over there throughout the time. If we had like 20 or 30 minutes where we had a little bit of downtime, we would run back over there and try and jump on with him. Well, that ended up working out because we got to hang out with Brian Havlick and Rich Snafu on or Snafu Rich on Facebook at the Havlick booth, which was kind of cool. So got to talk to them quite a bit. Got to talk to the guys at HPT Turbos. That was kind of cool. I actually got a good interview with them. So that's another video that I intend to drop tomorrow. Is the interview with Tristan and then Ryan Hargett, same time, talking about Ryan's new build. So again, we broke that news at PRI. So
Yep.
a lot of stuff happened for us at PRI.
We
haven't figured it out.
I think we probably visited the Racing Junk booth more than any other booth.
Yep.
Just because of the amount of times we went back and forth. But we did stop at all of our sponsors quite a few times. So we stopped at Summit, Molly, and Howard's Cam at least a couple times throughout the week.
And man, the guys at Molly, dude, we went by there at least 3 times and hung out one time for like 6 or 8 minutes on their nice cushy carpet. And all those guys were talking to folks. We were trying to pull them away, but it was not possible. So it was pretty crazy. Well, dude, let's get into why we were there. Obviously, the Drag and Drive Awards were something that we had worked on all year. I mean, we were definitely going to do that. But listen, it went ham, dude.
It did.
Craziness. I can't thank the people that came to the awards enough. Because, like, I'm telling y'all, I wanted to throw up. Like, literally was so anxious leading into that. Once we got to PRI, it was a whole different world because then that next level of fear set in for me. I mean, I don't know about for anybody else, but for me, for sure, because I was so worried we're going to be standing up there with ourselves, you know.
And we filled the room.
Biggest fear. Yeah, it's the biggest fear I had was like, we're fixing to walk into this and it's not going to be nearly as cool as what I think it was going to be. But it was over the top.
We filled the room and people had stopped us and said, "Hey, I forgot all about it. We didn't make it." So if everybody that had planned on coming actually showed up, we need a bigger room.
Yeah, and I'm so excited. We've got, well, I'm not going to get into what we've got planned already for 2024, but our presentation will be huge. It's going to be bigger. We're going to have better backdrop. Like that's literally the backdrop from the booth. Like we took it down and walked it up there. So we have a lot of stuff planned for this, and I can't wait to start rolling that out and telling you guys about it. We just can't do it just yet. But the 2024 awards are going to be super, super cool because of some things that are being put in place right now. So you can see the trophies here lined up on the table. It was one of the coolest, I don't know, shot thing. I want to say thank you to Jesse Fox at 3G Video for taking these are the photos that he took. Eric got a bunch of shots as well that'll be out in an album too. And then Travis Wise knocked it out of the park, dude. Knocked it out of the park on the trophies. They looked amazing. His eye for that stuff was awesome. Revved Up Laser Works is his I don't know what you call it, printing laser. I mean, it's a laser engraver. And they just looked amazing. They had some depth. They were really cool. And it was really cool to give away. You know, like we had like this photo here doesn't do this any justice. This is right as it got started. This is a cell phone pic, I think, from Steven, or maybe this is from Jesse. I don't see Jesse in the photo, so it's probably him. And then I know this from Jesse out behind me. This was really early, like this was at 11:01 or something.
Yeah.
And there were people that poured in the entire time.
Yeah, because we actually ended up starting earlier than 11 o'clock because we just got so anxious and people were there. We just started talking and started the show.
Yep. Then it kicked off, and I'm telling you, it was no joke. And once it got started, it was over faster than what I thought it would be. My notes were were probably not long enough. So we've talked to some of the guys that were there. We talked to Tommy Dupree, and he was like, man, we could have gone a little longer and not bored everybody. Cause that was the biggest thing. I didn't want to obviously bore people and talk just to be talking. You know what I mean? And as the years go on, more people will be there. Like you see Ryan and Tammy Hargett here. They got 3 awards. So the time it takes them to get up there, more people will be there and more people will be walking up front to collect their awards. So it'll take longer, you know, but I don't think we'll ever go past an hour. I think we'll probably always plan to be on Thursday of PRI so we can get that knocked out and out of the way. And then I would love to be Thursday morning at like 11. I think it's good. People can get in, see some stuff, and then they can make their way to the awards.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Can I pull up a photo showing all the people that were there real quick?
Yeah.
I was going through these. Again, this is going to drop tonight, but I just want you to take a look at this picture. Look at the amount of people in this room.
And they're all back behind, like that wall there is like a I don't know, an alcove or something there. And they were all back in there. And then there was probably another 10 or 15 people out in the hallway too. It was really cool to like be a part of this.
Yeah, there's another good shot there.
Yep. That's awesome. Well, I want to do a quick recap of the trophies that we did give away. I'm going to kind of blast through these real quick. If you'll run the picks, I've got some picks there for a little while. I put in some of the people getting them and some of the kind of candid shots like this near the Rich. Sweet Patina, the toughest roadside repair, went to Kyle Omilano for his engine swap and then ultimate class win at Miles of Mayhem. The Molly Motorsports Spirit of Dragon Drive went to Jason Hurley for his EFI twin turbo 2000 horsepower engine swap to a carbureted big block that he bought from an RV. The Road King went to Rovic from the Yukon for traveling more than 30,000 miles to and from Dragon Drive events during 2023. Rich Guido here is one of our Dragon Drive ambassadors. We had 3 of those. Rich Guido won because he attended 5 events, drives the car all over, and hosts a podcast. I thought that was a good award there. Dustin Cottle of the Unlovable wins another one. I'm going to hand deliver that one to him in Tulsa very soon. 8 events he attended in 2023. And then Phil Balmaceda for attending 7 events, but mainly for being on the road for an entire month with him and Chris Story attending Alaska Speed Week and then down to Rocky Mountain Race Week. Pretty crazy story there. Driving a Corvette up to Alaska was nuts.
And Jason Hurley here saying still shocked and appreciative of that.
Well, I mean, dude, it was a huge undertaking. I cannot imagine trying to get a fuel pump that's capable of taking care of 15, 1800, 2000 horsepower in that car down to where it would run a Edelbrock 600 carburetor and then drive it 400 miles. It wasn't like he did that and then just cruise down the track. It was 400-mile drive after that, pulling the trailer and all that kind of stuff. Molly Motorsports Melted Piston Award went to Jack Crawford. I hate that he won that, but he did win it at the circuit, which is really kind of cool. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Not that we were biased, but he literally turned a piston into lava. It was not a Molly Motorsports piston, which was obviously something we wouldn't have wanted to hear. But so glad they were on board for awarding that trophy there. And then we're huge regional fans. I push that as the gateway drug all the time. I think we're going to see more and more regional events, more and more, always piling up. So, but there's not a lot of quarter mile regional racing that is fast. So Austin Martin took third place in the top 3 regional quarter mile racer list that we put together, brought by Summit Racing. And then with an 8.951 average, Mike Kimmis was second at the circuit as well, 8.659 average. And then Brian and Jay Acton, who's right here, took first place with an 8.539 average, their slowest 850 event of the year. So, actually, I think they were a little slower at Trimming Week. Sorry. Anyways, congratulations to them. Love those guys. They were there in support. They had a blast, and it was really cool to be able to see them. The top 3 8th mile regional racers. This is one that comes along pretty. This is the next big wave, I feel like, and we're already seeing it. Carl Thomas at One Guy's Garage Drag Weekend with a 5.100 average. Kyle Beaumont at the circuit with a 5.077 average. He's on our shirt, as well as Brian Acton is on the circuit shirt for the 2024 event because they were the 2 fastest cars. Dwayne Rule at Central Illinois Streetcar Shootout Drag and Drive class with a 5.002 average for the regional 8th mile events. So this is where we get into some situations where we're going to have a lot of these lists and people are going to overlap because they absolutely get down. And a lot of these guys, they attend multiple events a year. So we appreciate that. The top 3 national level event, again, 4 days or more of racing, 235 class, or 235 tires. This is, I think, 42 racers participated in a class or event that was dedicated to a 235 tire. So Ryan and Tammy Hargett took third place, Sheldon Root took second place, and then Jordan Tuck and Devin Vanderhoof took first place. So Ryan and Tammy did it at Southeast Street Meet, and Sheldon and Jordan both did it at Sick Week. So we're coming right up on Sick Week, 40 something days, 50 something days until Sick Week. So I look forward to that 235 class being crazy again. And then the top 3 8th mile, I'm just going to call it a 275 plus class because I'm not going to take the time to dig into who ran a 275 or a 28.105 and who ran big floppy tires and separate all that. But there are more than 600 racers that raced 8th mile events in 2023. Crazy, crazy numbers there. Ryan and Tammy Hargett took third place in that class on a 275 tire. Pretty intense, 482 average there at Southeast Street and Yeet. Yes, that's right. You heard that. 2 different classes because they raced on 2 different tires every day to get that average. Crazy stuff. She said she wasn't going to pack any more parachutes for him. Shane Props from Redwood Rally took second place in the 275 tire. And of course, Bryant Goldstone right here took first place with his 450 average at Southeast Street Meet. And that is the event that locked him into the Drag and Drive World Champion, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. Another list we run is the National Quarter Mile Top 100 list. This is the list that started all of this list stuff. This is 100 unique racers. You can find this on the homepage of draganddrive.com. The top 3 racers from that, starting in third place was Tom Bailey at 1.0, the 6 or with 1.0 at Hot Rod Drag Week with the 671 average. And then second place, Stefan Gustafson. Love that dude. He's coming back in 2024 with, I think the Corvette's coming back, and then he's building an all new car for 2025, which is cool. So the Bitter Tears C4 Corvette at Sick Week, 6.598 average. Again, this is quarter mile stuff, not 8th mile. And then the quickest quarter mile drag and drive racer in the world, Michael Westberg, in his S10 truck that he no longer owns at Sick Week, the 6.464 average. I want to say congratulations to him. I'm getting those in the mail sometime this week. I know it's Wednesday night. I had intended to do it on Monday, but nobody has boxes that are the right size for these trophy boxes. So I'm having to cut them down and basically make them out of other boxes so I don't get killed on shipping. So pretty awesome for those guys. I want to say congratulations to them. And then the Drag and Drive World Champion, you guys know that was what led up to all of that, was trying to put together all of that stuff. Logan and Corey Thompson, I want to say congratulations to Corey on campaigning what could have been the coolest year, or what is the coolest year, I think probably ever. That dude led most of the year. Every time he went to an event, he won a class, he reset records, all that's ET, mile an hour, everything from all of his events that he went to. So congratulations to him. 110 points this year. With the changes, I think we're still going to see some of that point range in there, but it's going to be easier for people to get more points. And then Ryan and Tammy Hargett, 110 points, same as what Corey Thompson has, but they are a faster car. Not that just they are a faster car, but they they had faster averages. So they were in the low sevens and Corey was in the low eights or high sevens. So, and then of course, Brian Goldstone, Brian Robbins, and Rob Sanders, 114 points. Absolutely crazy. You can already see, I think the picture you had up just a second ago, Brian's already got all of his stuff set up there in his man cave. The picture with him on the left is just covering up a TV that I didn't feel like you guys wanted to look at. You wanted to look at his awesome mug that's right there. That's probably my favorite picture taken of the entire thing. One, because obviously Bryant doesn't smile a whole lot. Secondly, he just looks like a badass.
Yeah.
That was in front of the Molly booth, in front of like their little break room, I guess. I don't even know what you call that thing.
Is that photo in here?
It is not in this mix here.
Okay.
Actually, it may be a little bit later. Yes. So if you go, so then obviously we paraded him around. Go back to the trophy room though, the man cave. Look at all of the now. The only way you get one of these guitars down here with Drag Week on it is to be a top 3. That's it. Like that's it right there. And that dude's got 4 of them.
Yeah.
Like, does it get cooler? And look at all the trophies on the speakers in behind. And then did you notice all the trophies that are up here on the right, like up on the shelf? Like, what's that shelf weigh? That shelf has to weigh a ton. And then obviously his belt and big chain from Southeast Street and Eat. I mean, this guy is no joke. He has done it, and I guess he's got 5 Hot Rod Drag Week guitars. Yeah, wow. So pretty crazy. I want to congratulate him. I mean, it's really awesome to see all of that. Rick Johnson gives those away at Gear Vendors, and that would be one of the coolest trophies to have. I'm not ever gonna go after one of those, but that'd be a cool one to have. So congratulations to him on really just elevating his man cave there. It's pretty cool, and being the first ever Drag and Drive World Champion. All right, let's flip through. Obviously, we paraded him around, like I said, Summit booth. We went to Molly and hung out with those guys.
Yeah, there's that photo
here. Yep, on the left. I just think that's really cool. I mean, like Jesse did a great job shooting it. I think Jesse probably has a few more photos from that shoot that maybe made Brian look too much like a model. I don't know, but this is a great shot. It just looks tough. And then obviously we're standing there with George Wright from Molly Motorsports, who we got to meet. Jesse and I got to meet when we were out coming back from Drag Week. So pretty cool to be able to hang out with him. The Racing Junk booth, we went by there. Those guys were busy. They were actually recording a podcast. And so we just kind of scooted everything out of the way real quick and snapped a shot and then bounced. So that was pretty cool. And then went over to Howard's Cams and saw Luke. Luke has since then shared all kinds of photos of this. I want to say thank you to him for doing that. Luke is there on what I guess you guys will be looking at your left next to me. Goofy dude. Love that guy. He is so awesome. And we have some really fun stuff planned for 2024 with him and Howard's Cam. So cool. All right. Well, guys, the Drag and Drive World Champion, that's not the last time you're going to hear that. Again, I'm waiting on the schedule to come back from Bryant. He's going to let me know which events he's going to run. I intend to be there and really do, like, I'm going to cover him a lot this year. We're going to cover him a lot this year because this is the first time anything like this has ever happened. And if we're not talking about it, that means people can't hear about it. And so we're going to be just absolutely beating it into people's head because this is a huge accomplishment for him. He generally doesn't do 3 events a year, especially after traveling from Ohio down to Sick Week and breaking on day 2 and then going home, for him to get that car back and put it back together and come back to street meet, huge deal.
And he
So
also did the NHRA race, which isn't
yeah,
a drag and drive, but it is one more event that he attended this year.
yeah, just crazy stuff to campaign a mid 6 second car at that level at that many events it takes a lot of work. I mean, it really does. And so we've looked at. I don't want to get too much into the details of the world champion points changing, but I based what we're looking at changing on what he did, and it would have ended up in this about the same number based on what everybody else had too. So he still would have won. It just wouldn't have been by as many points. And I say as many points. He literally won by 4 points. Like it wasn't so he didn't blow anybody out of the water or anything like that. And he was a full second faster a half second faster on average than Ryan and Tammy Hargett. So I mean, like, it's not like the difference in that car made all the difference in the points that they captured. So I'm hoping that we can actually see some more people go after this. I know Jason Hurley, if he's still watching, he was talking about doing it and some of the events that he's looking at. So my plan is to release a full event. These are the eligible events for the world champion. We're not going to get into a situation next year where, oh man, we roll up to the last minute and then have to say that this one doesn't count, or suddenly this one does count. So I'm going to assign event eligibility, and that's actually pretty much locked in. I'm 95% locked in on what is going to count and which events are going to count and which ones aren't, based on historical stuff. So be watching for that. I do intend to do a full, we're probably going to do 30 or 40 minutes on that next week and talk through some of the stuff that comes from that and some of the extra details that are surrounding that we can't get into yet, but I really want to. So we're going to talk about that again next week.
You spoke and he responded.
Yeah, that's
Jason
right.
says, I'm coming full steam next year.
Yeah, I'm so excited about that. And again, this couldn't have gone to a more deserving person. And I can't wait till Jason comes at it too, because he's deserving as well. I mean, dude, he swapped from 2,000 horsepower to 250 and drove 400 miles. Like,
Yeah.
he swapped an engine from an RV to go do that. So I can't wait. I think there's a lot of people that are watching the point series that are trying to figure out how to do this. People are messaging me asking, hey, what's this? If I'm signed up for this. So our goal is to have everything. I said earlier in a post that or a comment, I wanted to have everything posted by PRI, but if we can get a good idea if this is the rule set or this is a point set that will work, we'll roll it out for 2 or 3 years. There's questions I have that I want to make sure that I'm getting the right eyes on looking at everything and all that kind of stuff. So should be the thing is, everybody talks about you should do this or you should do that, but it just creates, you don't even understand the levels of complexity that doing things like if their route is longer than X miles, they should get extra points. That, to me, I just don't know. I don't feel like that's fair because we want people to still attend the events that they're going to attend to earn the points, but we at the same time, I don't know. We'll talk about it all next week. I'm going to go deep details. So put it on your schedule. Wednesday night next week, 8 p.m. Eastern. Find us. You can bitch and moan in the comments all you want. We're going to lay out a rule set, and it's going to be that's it. So, anyways, let's move on, guys. Obviously, Summit Racing, one of our biggest sponsors, presenting sponsor for a lot of the Circuit 2023, the Dragon Drive News, which is on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. Dragon Drive Show, which you're watching right now, and really just these guys helped us so much this year, overcome a lot of adversity and kind of help with some guidance and things like that behind the scenes. So I want to say thanks to them. They are your official retailer of Dragon Drive merch right now. You can go on there. You can find the Dragon Drive Tommy Dupree shirt. You can get what we're going to call, what Eric called the other day, the OG shirt. And then they've got hats as well. And guys, these are all designed and I don't say built. I don't know what you do with shirts, but designed and brought in by Summit to sell at their stuff. One of the coolest experiences I had this year was to be able to go to the Atlanta, Madonna, Georgia warehouse store, or I guess retail store, and be able to buy the Dragon Drive Addiction Tommy Dupree shirt. I almost cried right there in front of that dude. I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever been a part of right here. So that was really neat. The items I found this week, I thought this was a crazy deal. $250 off for the Holly Sniper EFI 850 CFM, $1,000. I thought this was a pretty good deal. I mean, I don't really deal in a whole lot of Holly Sniper EFI sets, but I mean, for $1,000, I thought
Yeah.
that was kind of a good deal. This would more than power a lot of your small block Chevrolet or small block Ford, your old hot rod that's out there. And dude, for that kind of savings, when my wife tells me how much money she said she's saved, and that's why she had to buy it, I feel like, dude, this is more 25% off, man.
Car
You know,
guy math right there.
yeah, it's only fair, you know. And then next up, I thought this was a great deal, not only because of the big discount, but if you're driving a pickup and it's not lower, a two-wheel drive truck and it's not lowered, there's something wrong with you, man. This one here is going to make the swap to coilovers. It's going to, a 1 to 3 inch drop in the front and a 4 inch drop in the rear. That's about what's right. I'm telling you that just looks good. You can still fit a tire under that truck, and it's going to ride good because you can still get some tire on that thing and not have issues, beating up your rims and all that kind of stuff. So thought that was a good deal. $660 off. I think that's like, I don't know, 25% too, off as well. So found on summitracing.com. And guys, you know what I grabbed out of the tote as I grabbed all my stuff to come out here?
What did you grab?
The TKO hand cleaning wipes from Sweet
Oh,
Patina, of course.
yeah.
So these are going back in the shop. I'm tired of them being. We took these to PRI with us, had them on the table. A lot of folks use them. Like, it's way lighter now, and obviously people don't get dirty at PRI, but this is a good deal. Now, twofold here. You can buy these on Summit Racing. So I'm glad that we have race car friends that are race car friends. Okay. But you can also use code DND57 on sweetpatina.com and get 10% off of that if you want to go over there. And they've got a ton of cool stuff. So
I will say that I did use them because we had like 5 minutes to eat lunch, and then
we didn't have 5 minutes.
we're about to interview Rich, and I didn't have time to run off and wash my hands. So
Yep.
after eating a burger, I grabbed those hand wipes and washed my hands, and perfect.
You were done, dude. They're so great. They're waterless wipes. That's what Blake tells me to say all the time. He's like, dude, they're waterless wipes. You can literally, those can be anywhere. You clean tools, you can clean parts, you can clean your hands, clean your face. I don't care what you clean with them, but probably don't want to take them in the woods with you if you're out out in the woods getting some junkyard parts ran. So, anyways, that's found on summitracing.com. Thought you guys would enjoy that. I'm glad to actually have those here in the booth with us, or in the booth with me, not with us, with me. So, all right, dude, let's talk about events, because we literally increased events for today. So we not only had 25 before, now we have 29 events. Mick has added 4 events to the schedule, dude. These are all Australia events. I can't believe it. I think that puts 7 events in Australia?
Something like that, yeah.
Hang on, I'll tell you. So we got Road Trip Drag Challenge 1. We've got Central Victorian Drag and Drive, who I saw in here in the comments earlier, as 2. We've got Road Trip Drag Challenge 2. We've got the 5-day, which is cool. This is the first time he's done that, the 5-day event. We've got Street Machine Drag Challenge. What was the other one? Road Trip Drag Challenge 3. Man, there's one more. Street Machine Drag Challenge. There's one other small one, I think. But anyways, that's 6 that we can think of off the top of our head. That I'm looking at the list here. 29 total events, and I'm going to make that post here in just a few minutes on our website, and then share that out obviously across Facebook, so everybody can take a look at that. But I'm so excited for him. We'll have him back on the show very soon to talk about this. Adding 5-day race. He says 3 tracks, so we're going to see how that. Is it going to be 4 days of racing and qualify as a national level event, or is it going to be 5 days, but they have a drive day to and from one of the tracks? Because that's the problem with Australia, is they're so far apart.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be 3 days of racing. I don't know yet. So we're messaging that. I'll find that out shortly, and that's part of the reason why I'm waiting to release like the event eligibility. Is I want to try and make sure we've got all the events that are there available to every racer that's out there. Because if this is event that is, oh, Central Victorian Dragon Drive says we'll have another event in November as well. Let me add that to my list here.
And this
Real
just reminded me too.
Breaking news! Breaking news!
And this just reminded me too. We got to meet the what was it, the Street Week Sweden guys.
Yes,
At,
yep. I've got
PRI.
that picture here in just a minute. Yep, we got
Oh, sweet.
got to meet Mats from Street Week Sweden, and obviously hang out Michael Borgren. We know him with the Volvo, but it was really cool to have him come by the booth, man. It was really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Central Victorian. I've got that up on there, and I'm assuming it's going to be another regional event, couple day deal. And we haven't talked to the New Zealand event yet. Are they going to host a new event? So that's 30. Breaking news right there. We have crossed into 30 events. And if people haven't seen the YouTube short yet, Tommy Dupree bet us a Coca-Cola that there's going to be at least 40. He said 42 events. I said 53 events, and you said 48 events. It's going to be interesting to see how many events happen in 2024. And dude, the 30 already. We're not even in 2024 yet. Wait till some of the stuff we talked about, because there was a really, really good conversation that we had right there at the end that with one of your friends. We won't tell about which track that is, that are looking at doing some stuff that a Dragon Driver event would slide right into that very, very well. So I'm kind of excited to see what's going to come of that. That's something that we'll talk about after the first of the year, because I think they're still ironing out the details. But I want to say thank you, Dave Curtis, for letting us know about the event in November. All right,
and guys, hopefully I can be a part of that when that all gets rolling out, since it's right here in my neck of the woods,
so close to your house. Is that all we can say about it so far?
Yeah.
The circuit 2024 just keeps getting better. We talked about a little bit earlier about the go-kart deal. Guys, Car Chains 3D came on board. Corey Nicholson, thanks, dude. You're my homie. It was awesome to hang out with him at PRI. He is the new U versus U sponsor. I can't wait to turn this loose. He is actually going to print up some really cool trophies in his 3D printing stuff. That's where Car Chains 3D comes from. Is all him printing stuff. Yes, right there. So we'll be able to go into a little bit of that hopefully next week and kind of have some ideas. There's more things working with him behind the scenes that we're going to be releasing soon, but I'm really excited for him to step on board and do this. The cool thing we do about class sponsors for the circuit is that it ends up rewarding the winning racer back their money of entry. So they get that, a cool trophy, and the bragging rights for the next year. So it's really kind of a neat deal. We've got several on board. I'll actually pull those up here in just a minute. But thank you to Car Chains 3D for coming on board. And then these dudes, jerks, man.
This one was hilarious.
No, it wasn't. What was fun was like how this came about. Okay. You and I get done at Monoxide. Yep. We cruise over to Buffalo Wild Wings, which is a place I despise.
On scooters.
See our buddies. Oh yeah, dude, like 3 miles on scooters. We go see our buddies. All of the guys in there. I completely blame this on David and Keaton Maxon. Let me get my names up here. Joel Clark, you jerk, and then Lance Strager of R&D Performance and Fabrication. And I'm sure there were some other folks in the midst of all of this as well. Essentially, I'd laid out the classes and everything like that for the circuit. These guys begged and pleaded for a 650 index class. And I said, listen, you can do it, but I'm not paying it all out and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to do it, you got to give me the money. And Lance dug in his pocket and got me this picture of this $500 is legit. How this took, I took that picture of that $500, that business card on the Buffalo Wild Wings table. That money is in a envelope and will go to the winner of the 650 index class at the circuit.
Yeah.
That's how you get a new class. You put up or you shut up. Okay. So I don't intend to add a lot of classes, but if we have people that are going to put money up and other people can win, I'm not doing a $500 black Malibu class. Okay. I'm not doing that, but this is a great class. And I'll tell you, there were more than 20 comments when I posted about it later at the table that night. Yeah. I'll never posted it right then. So this is going to be kind of fun to see play out. This is a class all on its own. I wanted to make it a challenge to where people could turn in and stay within the classes they have. But we didn't do that because Lance gave the money. So it's going to be really fun. I think this will be a good class based on the comments that were on the post. If you're not following the Circuit Dash, a charity with horsepower, you need to do that because that's where we're going to post all this stuff. So it's kind of exciting. So again, no time slips turn in faster than 650, and we're going to have a blast.
Yeah, that was definitely fun to watch all that play out. I was cracking up.
Yeah, right here, Travis. 500 for Black Malibu had my vote. Yeah, that's what we're going to run into a lot of times. At one of the streetcar shootouts we did one year, we had that. It was like the best looking black Malibu, and it went to Mike Sleeper, of course. So, and yeah, just like you were talking a few minutes ago, Street Week Sweden came by the booth. They gave us the dates on that. I have confirmed those again in email because those crazy guys over there working like weeks of the year. So he was like, "Oh, it's week 29 or week 27." I was like, "I don't know what that means." Right? I don't know what that means. So July 6th through 13th, Street Week Sweden 2024. Sadly, I won't be making this event, but I am looking. I'm probably going to do some worldly travels in 2025 and hit some Dragon Drive events outside the country. So this is one that's really cool. And again, you'll remember this is the outing that Michael Westberg debuted the Camaro and ran a 403 in the 8th mile.
Mm-hmm.
So this next year could be pretty intense. But Matt was saying as we were all standing there and talking, because I was like, what, how does it work? Well, one of the days they go to like an airstrip, right? So that's when you saw like, Westberg runs a 403 one day. The next day runs like a 650 or something crazy like that. So that is a huge game changer in that realm because then obviously he was going to be in the running for the top. He'd have been top 5 or so in the 8th mile national list, but he didn't because of that. So pretty crazy. I'm excited to see these guys out and about, and I'm so glad they came to PRI. And then we can't talk about that one yet. I didn't put the picture in here. Redwood Rally hung out with us, like we said, twice, September 16th through 21st. We'll get some artwork done up on that here in just a minute. They were gracious enough to let us drop those dates within our live stream interview, so I appreciate them doing that. And then I pay them back by not putting their picture here in the lineup. So again, Redwood Rally, Northern California, Medford, Oregon is the start track. September 16th, they're doing tech and maybe some testing, or tech and party. I don't know. They're still figuring that out. But 16th through the 21st of September. So get that on your mind. Get ready for all of that. And then back to the streets 2024. Matt Lang and I were messaging today. I'm so excited about this event. This was one of the craziest experiences I had last year or this year. Back of the track, half track, no prep, front side. There was nothing the same about this. Nothing the same. And this year he's adding a race day, which means he's going to be a 4-day race event, but it's heads up elimination. So it's really cool the way they do it. They essentially, whoever wins each day moves on and races other winners that won the previous day. So, and then you break it down. It's this whole, he's smarter than I am. And I like to think I've got Excel figured out pretty well, but he's way smarter than I am. So you can find Back to the Streets, look it up on Facebook. That's where all the details are going to be. I want to say good luck to Matt. I'm really excited about this. September 26th to 29th, starts and ends at Milan Dragway and is hitting Pacemakers, Dragway, and hold on, one more, and Dragway 42. So excited to see all those guys. I don't know how the two in the middle flop around, but I'm pumped. This event was crazy good last year. And then let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about Hot Rod Drag Week 2024. I think everybody that's a drag and drive enthusiast saw the post made up earlier this week. It was an event or a racetrack that put Drag Week on their schedule and then posted their schedule.
Yep.
So knowing that, so let me get my notes pulled up here because we're going to talk about this for a few minutes. So if you're not into drag week, you can kick rocks. But so essentially US 131 posted that that drag week was going to be there on the 18th, right? So immediately people start asking, what's that mean? What's that mean? What's that mean? So my source within that community, within the know of that event, said that full details will be released mid-January. We'll have a better date. I should be able to have that date as we get closer. So I'm really working that angle very hard. I promise you guys. Um, here's my speculations. So there's a couple different things. So it's the 20th anniversary. The first one was a one-way trip. I don't know if we're going to see that again or not. I think it would be very, very hard with the amount of cars they have now to do a one-way, especially at the level those cars run at. Okay, so I think we're probably going to see a loop. Again, all this is going to be on record. We're going to go back and look at this and see how bad we're off. I don't think it's going to be a one-way event. So I immediately started looking at other tracks. US 131 on the 18th, which is a Wednesday, could mean a ton of different things. I will say that the drag week line from there has been removed on all the posts since then. So you can't find that anymore. So unless you have the screenshot from someone else, that's not on there. Okay. Norwalk has an event the weekend before and the weekend and an event beginning 9/19. So they're definitely not the host of it. So they could be a Tuesday stop, which I think could work. So that made me start looking around. Well, Indy has an event beginning 9/19 through 9/22, which is that next weekend. So they're not the host and they can't do anything on Thursday. So if you start looking, like, could you have, well, Route 66 doesn't have their schedule out yet. They only have their 2024 NHRE event that is going to be hosted there. They only have that one on the thing. Byron doesn't have their schedule out posted yet. But we were there in 2022, so that could be a track that comes around. But again, we don't have that. We don't see openings anywhere at any of these tracks at Route 66 or Byron. The $1 Million Bracket Race is the weekend of September 10th through 14th at Worldwide Technology. They already have that posted, but the 2024 schedule is not out for them yet. So, yep, I see John Marecki here saying National Trails ? St. Louis ? Here's my best guess. This is just my guess. I think we're going to start in St. Louis with the $1 Million Bracket Race ending on the 14th. I think we could slide right in there on the 15th as a tech and testing day. Then you have Indy on Monday. Hang on, let me get my dates back out here. So this is all September again. Yeah, so the 15th and 16th is Sunday, Monday, which we know we could do that. So you race on St. Louis on Monday. You race Indy, which is 200 something miles away, on Tuesday. You drive to 131 from there, which is another 230 or 240. So that's US 131 on Wednesday. You drive to Byron on Thursday, another 200 and something miles, and back to St. Louis with another 230 miles, giving you just a little more than 1,000 miles, 1,050 miles to make that loop, just by how Google would do it as the easiest route. So that would fit that would fit like scheduling and people that don't have stuff out yet. That would kind of fit in that. I looked at National Trail. The only problem is, like, if you're going to start at National Trail, you've got to figure out how you're going to loop around. And I think one of the events wouldn't allow you to loop back without a 400-mile day. And St. Louis to Norwalk is 500 miles. So you almost can't do that. And if it's going to be on Wednesday at US 131, you can't go St. Louis, Indy, Norwalk, or National Trail, because you need to be at 131 on Wednesday. If they don't, like, I don't know. And then, well, Travis here, yes, it's, Hot Rod loves Great Lakes. They typically hit it every 3 or 4 years, but they hit it 2 years ago. We just did Great Lakes in 2022. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, obviously we're watching this really, really close because Drag Week is one of the OGs, or is the OG, but that's one of the events that we come by all the time. So yeah, start at Cordova. I looked at Cordova, but I can't remember why Cordova wasn't going to work. I think there was an event either the weekend of or the weekend after. So I can't remember that. So I'll have to look back at that. I intend to do this a lot. Yeah, Jay talking about Dragway 42. There was something scheduled with Dragway 42 for that as well. So I don't know. I hope. I mean, that part of the country is cool to go back to because a lot of people can go there. There's a lot of Midwest drag and drive racers that we know of. Obviously, that is where most of the racers come from, and some of the largest events have been there. But what did we do? Great. Oh, I think we did Great Lakes for Six Summer. Sorry about that. Yeah, Great Lakes
Yeah.
for Summer, not Drag Week. Yeah, they're all running together now. So I don't know. I'm really excited to see what Drag Week does and what that does to other events. The timing is good if it's really going to be around this 15th through 20th. I know that that probably puts some folks in full panic mode because if you have one track that's not, if all your tracks aren't locked in and one track posts, now your rate can go way up at these other tracks because they know, hey, that's the plan. Where
Yeah.
if you're playing a hard game, it becomes very difficult. So I don't know what the right answer is for that. And that is part of the struggle with waiting another couple days on making the event eligibility available for the Dragon Drive World Champion is because we want to make sure, I may put that these events are going to be on there and then they show up and they do a 3-day event. That suck because,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they would be taken away, but that's hard. I want to set this thing. I want to just watch points. I don't want to have to watch mileage and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, Drag Week 2024 is going to be a big one because that's going to be one of the last events again, like we saw this year, that people are going to earn huge points because they're going to be able to reset records and all that. Because we are keeping record resetting a possibility, just not all of it. So, man, damn, I wish we could go into all that. I'm not going to yet. I don't have my notes here on this page, and I'm not going to dig into it tonight.
Let me guess, you got to wait till next week to hear more about that.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to come back. So that's for sure.
All
Well,
I know is Drag Week is definitely going to be near me, which is going to be sweet because
Yeah.
that's going to be one more event that it's going to be easy for me to attend.
Yeah. How do you feel about tent camping
Hey,
for Drag Week?
as long as I have a plan, that's usually my thing. I just need a
There
plan.
you go.
Just
Yeah.
don't tell me we're going to wing it and I'll be okay.
Perfect. Well, we're gonna attempt to sleep every night. How about that? Got a plan for you? Yeah. So this is the map I laid out earlier, taking a look at all at it being able to be at Worldwide. So I don't know. I think they try and always keep 1,000 miles. I don't know. I want to go back through and make a list of all the tracks that they've hit and see which ones they've hit the most. I think that would be a fun one to see, and kind of some stats nerdy shit that makes me makes me wonder at late at night. Deep thoughts by Mike Narks. Um, we're just going to kind of riff here for a few minutes. I want to go for about another 10-12 minutes, but guys, it was crazy. Like I want to say thanks to everybody that's watched all night. If you got to bounce, I understand. But listen, this is all free range right here. We're about to talk about, but PRI was nuts, dude. Like I still haven't come down from the high of that yet.
No, I mean, if it wasn't for me catching that cold and being knocked out for a couple days, like today is probably the first day that I felt pretty good.
Yeah.
And it was just like I have so much stuff to do. Like I really didn't have the time to catch this flu when I really wanted to get pictures out already. So last night I sat here at the desk and coughed my butt off while I worked on the pictures so that I can get them out
Yeah.
tonight. But you know, it it really was incredible to have that much support behind us. I mean, everywhere, every night that we went out, people came up and told us, how great of a job we were doing. Like those are the things that really kept us going each day on 2 hours and 3 hours of sleep.
Yep. Yeah, I'll tell you the Saturday morning, I really thought we were going to be in trouble. I'd had about 2 beers too many. I wasn't wild or anything like that, but when you drink beers as a relaxation mechanism, and then you go past the moment you should have went to the hotel at midnight, and you see Steve Morris, the jerk, uh, who said, "Oh, we're just gonna go right over here. We'll go with you. That'll be fun."
No,
Yeah.
no, we're gonna go back to the hotel, and then
Yeah.
2 blocks later, you're like, we probably should go with them.
We should probably at least go network some, you know. And so we did, and it was a blast. We ended up hanging out with Luke from Sick the Mag. We hung out with John from Delta PAG. We hung out with Jerome Turner from Ace Racing Engines, and
Yeah.
dude, we David Williams, and we end up in this. I don't. It was an old house, basically.
Yeah, but it was only 10
into
minutes
a bar.
away.
Yeah, it was a 10-minute drive, 35-minute walk. It was a blast to do that, and it was probably good that we walked that, you know, to go by through all of that. But had a blast with that. That was pretty crazy. And then, you know, get back to the hotel at like what, 3:30, something like that. What was supposed to be midnight turned
Well,
into 3:30.
well, because we found a barbecue truck on the side of the road. That was
Listen,
another pit stop.
I don't understand, but I'm so glad it was there. My boy Anthony was out there, AP Barbecue in Indy. He was
That
parked
was some
right down dude, right down from where we were walking. It was like this side street, and we're like, yes, we're
that
having
was
barbecue.
some real good barbecue too. And
Yeah.
then we get our food and we start moving on, and there's all these people at White Castle because for whatever reason, 3:30 in the morning in Indy, nobody's
Well,
sleeping. I felt like we were in Vegas.
there was a place that closed at 3 that
Yeah.
everybody was piling out of, and then they
Yeah.
were piled up. I did see Travis here. Yes, we did see each other. You were headed to White Castle. We're the ones that told you about the barbecue place. So you know, you seem like you would have remembered that, but yeah, we were out running the streets at Indy at 4 a.m. because we
Yeah.
were hanging out with you guys for a
But
minute.
we definitely sent people over to the barbecue. We're like, no, White Castle, go get some barbecue.
Yeah, it was awesome. So I hope we did Anthony a good job. I see 200 KSS here saying, um, how much total sleep did you get over the course of the event? Yeah, I added it up. It was 12 hours. It was 12 hours total that we had gotten from when I left my house, or well, Tuesday morning until Saturday night when I got home. They
How
did it both.
how was the drive home for you guys?
I slept for about 2 hours straight. In
Yeah.
the seat. Steven and Colt drove us all the way home, so it was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy to do that. And man, it was just so much fun, and to be walking back. You know, had our food. We're going back to the hotel. We're walking right past this place that was closing. Like literally, doors swing open. All of our friends come out. They're going to get food. We saw a bunch of people in line at White Castle, same block of place, and
Yeah.
we ate dinner at 3:30 in the morning in the hotel lobby.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So,
think the last 2 hours of that drive home for me, I was kind of an autopilot, like
oh man,
because it was a 4 hour drive. I think I got home about 8:30, so it was
oh
still
nice,
relatively early. But
yeah.
the DOA drag sleds trailer, I ended up following him for quite a ways, and I'm
Like
pretty
just lead,
sure
I'll draft,
I'm
friend.
pretty sure they were loading up when we were loading up too, if I remember right.
Yep, yep.
Which
They
we
were
didn't even talk about our loading up story. That was pretty wild. First, we're waiting for Steven to show up in the Yukon, and we load an engine for people
yeah by
in the
hand,
truck by
by hand.
hand.
Yeah.
4 of us.
Golly, she told me I think it was Schaefer's engine or something like that, or
Yeah,
Samsonite.
and then
Just one
yeah,
of those.
and then Steven rolls up, and we're in a spot where we shouldn't be parking. But if
Yeah,
anybody knows how loading up works, there you've got no room, and that
yeah,
line is backed up. So luckily we only had a couple items to throw in there, but they were
yep,
heavy items. So Steven rolls up, we throw everything in the back of the Yukon. Colt and I just jump wherever we can fit
yeah,
our bodies because
yep.
there's no seats available. You and Steven jump in, and then we drive back to the hotel to get my truck so we can load up my stuff before we take off.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I guess I did drive a little bit. So Stephen and Colt drove to Joplin, and that's when we dropped off Colt. And those guys talked and stayed up while I slept. And
Mhm.
then Stephen slept on the way home from there. But we didn't get in until about 1:30, or I didn't get in until 1:30. And so that would have put Stephen home at about 2.
Yeah.
So I know he was back up the next morning out in the shop turning wrenches, and I was not. anything. I took 2 naps on Sunday. I worked a little bit, but took 2 naps on Sunday and have not stopped working since then. So
And then on the Way to the Monoxide podcast, we watched a guy make a left turn where he shouldn't have been making a left turn and
Green.
yes, I think it was like a Silverado and it gets tagged by a Jeep that's coming. That was interesting.
Yeah, probably
And
30
for
miles
me,
an hour into the back wheel.
yeah, and for me, that was the first time that I had drove since we've been to Indy, and it was literally pull out of the parking garage, boom, accident, and I'm like, okay, let's just
Here
let's just take this nice and slow.
Yeah, they put a sign up there for a reason saying don't turn left here.
Yeah,
Your guy didn't listen and he turned left and just right across traffic and
and
smoked it.
and of course, I wait and let this guy out of the parking garage. Where if I would have just kept going, I probably would have saved his truck for him. But
Oh yeah.
tried to be a nice guy and let somebody out, and then they get
Yeah,
tagged.
you jerk. Man, there were so many stories, and we're going to be telling them for weeks because this isn't the last time you guys are going to hear about our adventures at PRI.
Oh no.
All right, dude. Well, let's cut it here, man. Guys, I want to say thank you again so much for hanging out, listening to us, making comments in the chat. It's been awesome. If you're listening to this on the podcast, thank you. Thank you to the people that listen over there. It really does mean a bunch to us. We have huge plans for the podcast in 2024. We're not going to do a total revamp. We are going to do some specialty stuff for the podcast on that side. So it won't just be video that we're based on. You guys are going to get special things. And then there's a lot that's in the works, man. I can't wait to start releasing some of this stuff that we've been working on for months that's going to start coming to fruition. So I'm pumped about what is coming and all the stuff that we're looking at. So, all right, guys, thanks a bunch. We'll see you Saturday morning. It's going to be weird being back on the Drag and Drive News. We didn't do one this week because we were in Indy and we were absolutely running around like maniacs on Saturday morning. So Travis, no, thank you for following us. Travis says thanks for everything y'all do. We really appreciate everybody's support and all that stuff. So all right, I'm hitting the end button, guys. We'll see y'all next time.
See ya.